Welcome to Devakshar. Namaskar. Today is Friday, and as usual, we bring to you the next episode of How to Overcome Mental Tension by Swami Gokulanadaji Maharaj. Most of us are aware that Maharaj had been the secretary of Ramakrishna Mission New Delhi till he left his mortal frame. However, many of us are unaware that he had been associated with Belur Vidya Mandir for 14 years. And then he went to Cherrapunji Ashram, where he served the Khasis of Meghalaya. He learnt their language and translated the Kathamrita in the Khasi language. He also spent some time in Narottam Nagar, Arunachal Pradesh before coming to Delhi. We are sure that you have watched our previous 3 videos in which Maharaj gives many illustrations and explains how stress accumulates within us and that it is within our body-mind complex. In this episode, Maharaj will talk about how mental tension develops, stress starts building. We don't understand why. We now continue with the book. Maharaj says, we should not, however, think that only those who work hard are subject to different kinds of mental tension. No one is free from it, but there are various approaches which lead to the solution of this problem. The orthodox approach is available in medical science, which may be described as follows. Suppose someone is suffering from stress, tension, or fatigue, or has a nervous breakdown and goes to a doctor. The medical doctor may fail to recognize the root of the problem. He may treat the symptoms while the patient remains without treatment. It must be remembered that the patient is not merely the body, he has a mind too. The doctor may not give importance to the patient's mental state and the effect it is having on the body. A person suffering from mental tension may complain of headache, backache, or hypertension. The doctor may treat him only physically. If the patient goes to a psychiatrist, he has to spend a large amount of money. Maharaj says, I had occasions to hear of parents who had to spend such huge sums of money for the treatment of their children. In such cases, the advice given by Maharaj is, forget all about that. Have faith in your inner divinity. Follow Swamiji, meditate on him, and soon you will get rid of your malady. In some cases, this has proved successful. It shows that what we need is a proper blending of the body-mind complex. Unlike the orthodox medical approach, the modern approach is that we look towards both the body and the mind of the patient. Maharaj continues further. Here let me mention a significant article by John R. Harvey. It is called An Overview of Stress and Stress Management. In it, he has narrated his own experience. Maharaj says, I would like to recount one of them briefly. One day, a friend of Harvey came to his office looking very anxious and related to him the medical history of his family. He said that his great-grandfather, who was robust and enjoyed good health all his life, had a heart attack at the age of 78. His grandfather, a self-made man who had his own business, had a heart attack when he was 68. His father was only 58 years old when he had a fatal heart attack. He told Harvey with a sigh of resignation, after all this, I think I wouldn't go beyond 48. After some moments of silence, he recovered himself and asked, well, Mr. Harvey, why is this happening? Why are they dying progressively younger? There was silence for some more time, and once again the friend said, is there something I can do to prevent such a thing happening to me? Mr. Harvey writes in his article that after listening to his friend, he gave the matter a serious thought. He reflected deeply. The friend was in a crisis when he asked these questions, exactly as many of us might be during some stages of our life. And John Harvey's suggestion to his friend is applicable to all of us. He told his friend, "Why do you think that you won't go beyond 48? Why do you indulge in negative thinking? Take up a positive attitude. Follow certain disciplines. Go according to the mode of life I suggest, and you will also live to be as old as your great-grandfather." The friend did as he was told and lived a long life. Similar questions can be raised by many others. Today, most people have financial security, they have material comforts and success, but they have to pay a price for this. Each achievement is accompanied by some kind of nervous tension, fatigue, and ultimately fatal diseases leading to death. Nervous tension seems to be a major cause of death. A significant point to note here is that stress can be controlled. Some time back, the government of India released a stamp with a 3-word message: avoid negative stress. This can be interpreted to mean that if stress is properly motivated, it can be tamed to do us good. Used negatively, it creates jealousy, hatred, suspicion, anger, nervous tension, fatigue, and many other maladies. From this, it is evident that stress can be classified as positive and negative. Positive stress is to be welcomed as it gives us incentive to work and a desire to do it well. Otherwise, we would be content with what we have and avoid adversities. We would refuse to meet challenges, and humanity would then have continued to live in the Stone Age even today. We constantly have some kind of stress. Let it be positive stress and not a negative one, because negative stress brings about an unwelcomed situation. It aggravates thoughts which are full of unhappiness and distress. Maharaj continues, "Let me illustrate negative stress by an example. Suppose there are 2 colleagues who would like to supersede each other. In course of time, one is placed above the other. The situation is naturally very painful and the resultant nervous tension is inevitable, quite often intolerable. But this kind of situation has to be handled in such a way that it becomes a spur to more concentrated effort. There is a mistaken notion that if we work for long hours, say 15 or 16 per day, we suffer from tension. But there are instances to show that people have worked for about 20 hours without complaining of any ill effects, provided the work environment is favorable and the company congenial. In cases where the environment is hostile, even a few hours of work will seem stressful. From this, we can conclude that fatigue related to work is more a state of the mind rather than that of the body. Hope these episodes are enlightening you. Today we have finished with the introduction of the book. In the next session, we will start with the first chapter of this book, Stress and the Body-Mind Complex. Hope you have enjoyed the videos. Do stay tuned to Devakshar for the next episode. Share the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching Devakshar.